Good morning, or good afternoon, we should say. Keep It 100 podcast. This is J.R. Robertson. Nice to be back. Been off for a couple days. Thank God I got a chance to chill. We are going live with the DJ, my good friend Laura Villalobos. Also, I'll give you her DJ name in just a little bit. We're going to go ahead and get started. Thanks, Emmanuel, for joining in. All right, she should be coming up in just a second. We'll get it going, get it popping, rocking. Hopefully you guys were around yesterday. We had a nice stream from a 4th of July party that was popping. That was by Anani Villalobos. That was hot. Well, man, there's a lot of DJs, but we actually just had a chance to get her set live streamed. It was really cool, really cool. I'll play it back a little bit later on today. Meanwhile, we got some more stuff coming up. Got Gabriel. See you, Gabriel. Thanks for joining us also. Got you coming in. We're waiting for the DJ. She should be in there in just a moment. She's just getting signed in and getting things right. I like to start the show not right on the hour. I like to start it like about 5 or 10 minutes, after the hour, so we can get everybody in there so they don't miss too much. All right, we are starting. She just joined us, so hold on a second, guys. We're gonna get right to it. All right, there's someone else that just joined. Looks like Razan. Okay, hey. Well, good afternoon. I say good morning. Well, I had a long couple days. I've been very busy out there. Want to thank you for joining us this afternoon, Laura. I know it's 3 o'clock, 3:15 out there right now.
Yeah, 3:15 out here.
Okay, it's 1:15 here. We start this show not right on the hour because we're not like that. We're not like those kind of shows. We're very laid back. We're uncensored. So it's either rum and coke or a glass of wine, or you can just drink water. Pretty soon I will have everything set up where we'll have that good little sponsorship in, and we'll be whoever's sponsoring us will give us all those nice little drinks and stuff like that. So
nice.
We'll take care of our guests that come in too. So I just want to say, introduce yourself, give your name and your DJ name, and then I'll take it from there. We'll come back and I'll start asking those 3 questions, those 3 famous questions I always ask you. Okay?
Yeah. So hello to everyone who has tuned in. My name is Laura Villalobos, also known as DJ Helios. So I'm an Austin-based DJ and audio engineer. Wow,
that's a lot. And I was teasing you last time, and we're very forgiving to Instagram because we interviewed and Instagram didn't let us retrieve the information. I mean, that's the first time it ever happened. So we got on them about that.
Mercury has been in retrograde, so everyone has been having all kinds of issues, with everything technological.
It's so the 5G. It's the 5G. The aliens are taking over. No. Okay, let's start it out, girl. Let's have some fun. I feel like I've been knowing you forever. We had a great conversation last time. But let's just start it out. Let's talk about your older projects, how you got into DJing. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So like I mentioned during our last interview to the people who are listening this time, I've been a musician and been around music my whole life. Had a passion for music since I was pretty young. When I was 12, I started playing the violin. Kind of played throughout in orchestras throughout middle school and high school, and kind of through that same age range, I started playing a bunch of different instruments as well. Piano, guitar. I started to sing. I sang like in a church choir once every week. So just always involved in music. I've had a passion for it. And then one thing that I remembered too that we talked about last time. So I feel like I was DJing before, like I even really knew that I was doing that, that it was called that. Making mixes on my dad's computer when I was, pretty young, for like my friends 𝚖𝚒𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 for like their special dances.
How old though? Let me ask that question. How old were you then?
So if it was for 𝚖𝚒𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 I was like 14 or 15, middle school, high school. Yeah. So putting together mixes for my friends and stuff like that. So okay. I was always into music, loved to listen to it, loved to play it. So I always knew that I wanted to pursue, a career or have, you know, be involved in music as I grew older. So when I was kind of trying to figure out what I wanted to study, I found a sound recording technology program at Texas State, which is in San Marcos, Texas. It's about 30 miles from Austin. So I got accepted into the SRT program, which is an audio engineering program. And it kind of just started there. You know, I got kind of the bug of learning about recording music, but also about music production. And I really think where things kind of just like started to click and like set in was when I did my documentary. So like I had mentioned before, I was in the honors college and we had to write a thesis, and I'm terrible at writing papers, and more so I didn't want to like write like a 30 or 40 page, you know, thesis. So I convinced them to make me let me do a documentary. So the basis of the documentary was like electronic music, the history of electronic music, you know, and DJs, and sort of the culture, the rave culture of all of that music, because in that time I was like starting to listen to a lot of electronic music, kind of getting into that whole scene, because it's a scene, you know, it's a whole culture of people, and DJs are kind of at the forefront of all of that, you know. So when I was kind of putting together the documentary and interviewing a lot of DJs, it really piqued my interest into wanting, you know, to get into that. So I met a buddy of mine who is a DJ, and he kind of showed me the ropes. He let me borrow some of his turntables, and I just kind of started practicing and putting stuff together. So
they don't usually let you do that. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. This guy was, are you talking about my thesis?
No, as far as borrowing equipment from a DJ.
Yeah.
Hey,
so
really? That's like their baby.
Yeah, he had some extra ones, so I got lucky, but he was definitely a mentor. Some of us, you know, are lucky to have kind of mentors as we're learning and
right.
growing, and so I was really lucky to have met him. And like I said, he showed me kind of the ropes and kind of laid that foundation of what DJing is and the basics and all of that stuff. So those turntables are actually behind me. I don't know if you can see them.
The same turntables?
Yeah, let me see. Can you?
Whoa, that's like a legacy, huh?
Yeah. I don't want to get rid of them ever. Or if I do, maybe I'll just pass it forward and give them to somebody else who needs them.
Right. You were just saying something. Let me just go back for a second. I always catch things in the conversation, but you were saying something about an honors course or something?
So I was like in the honors college at Texas State. So it's basically like I think you have to have a certain GPA, but you basically...
Yeah, I knew it was all about big brain. I told you that.
That's what you wanted to get to. Yeah, I was an overachiever in school and gave myself more work than I should have, but it turned out.
Be proud of that. You know what? I got a lot of smart people in my family, and you know, one of the things I've always loved when people, you know, if you got it, you don't, you know, have to brag about it, but when you have it, you know, be assured of it. It's great, man. It's great to be there, because some of the people don't have that, you know. So I mean, some of the people that we meet, the only time that they have an honors is when they're in court saying, "Yes, Your Honor," "No, Your Honor." So be on that. Sorry, guys, I'm a nut. I love to have fun. But let's talk about the way you were raised. You were raised with how many brothers, sisters, and where?
So just one sister. I have a pretty small. We talked about this too. You know, coming from a Hispanic family, you know, my family's from Mexico. We actually have a pretty small family, or immediate family, in comparison to, you know, friends of mine that I know. But it was just me and my sister, my older sister. But yeah, parents are from Mexico, different parts of Mexico. Dad's from Chihuahua. My mom's from Guadalajara, which is like central Mexico.
I haven't been there yet. I know a lot of people from there. I mean, some really just heartfelt people.
Yeah.
You know, like Mexico is like my second home anyway. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. You'll definitely have to go. I'll tell my mom to make a list of places you should visit when you go out there. But you can also Yeah,
We were
you can
talking
go
about,
to the beach. Like
yeah.
Manzanillo is probably two or 3 hours from there. Puerto Vallarta, which is like a big tourist, beach town. So yeah,
Okay.
there's a lot of places. Or if you
Okay.
like tequila,
Oh.
Jalisco.
I never met a tequila I didn't like.
But yeah, so that's kind of the story about my family. Like I said, immediate family. They're all
Okay.
educators, so I come from a family of all. They're all teachers.
Wow.
Um, I didn't want to be a teacher. I went into a different lane, but
You
yeah,
know, yeah, they don't get paid near what they're worth. I grew up with four sisters. I'm only male in the family, and I have seven aunts. And most of my aunts and my uncle, my one uncle, or my mom's brother, he was worked for the mayor in Chicago years ago. And all my aunts are either professors or they have their teaching credentials. So one is taught in Beverly Hills for the literacy program, and then my sisters and all of them have teaching credentials too. So I know what you're talking about.
yeah.
Yeah, I have to speak well when I'm with them.
Yeah.
I
And
can't be
it's
thug.
worse. It's worse for me. My mom's a bilingual educator, so I have to speak
Oh
both
God.
languages.
Oh God. Okay, let me ask this question because last time that we did that interview, and we're because most of these people that are on right now don't know anything about that last interview that we did.
Yeah.
Because we didn't get a chance to air it because of, again, Instagram. But last time that we were talking, we were right after the interview. We had a couple hours afterwards. You were going to do a live stream. So after this show, I'm going to actually air that again
Yeah.
on our wall and live stream it again. That stream that you did for 30 minutes showing your talent. And I was actually getting down a little bit. I like to dance, right? I'm known for that. I learned that. I'm a brother. I can dance, girl. But I'll air that afterwards. Now, because this is all about you, let me get back into the real deal here. Tell me all your talents, because when I was talking with you and I did my homework on you, I don't usually want to know that much about the guests that I invite in. I like it raw. I like to come in and just find out what's going on. And I'm a Gemini. There's about 9 of us in here, so I can attach to whatever we need. But I was, last time we talked, I found out that you also had some vocals, because I can hear that. I'm good with my ear when it comes to music. Okay,
Yep.
so
Yep.
I can tell you a lot about that. So you did vocals. I'm gonna name some things, and I want you to talk about it. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So you got vocals. You're a sound engineer. That goes back to the big brain. Uh, your husband's very lucky. You're a beautiful woman. Okay. You told me how you met. That was really cool. Okay. But let's talk about all your credentials. Let's bring you up. I'm empowering women. So
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
talk
Yeah.
about that.
So, I think my situation's kind of unique because I have kind of like what I call like 3 different facets to, my creative side. One, like I said, I'm a musician, like you mentioned, a singer. I haven't sang in a long time. We talked about that last time, but I grew up as a musician, and that's kind of always been, where my passion for music came from, was being able to play music and sing music and all that stuff. So that was kind of one facet of me, the artist side. And then, yeah, there's the sound engineering side. I went to school for it, and know kind of the more technical, aspects of recording music and music production and kind of all of that stuff. And then the third facet, which is DJing, I feel like it's kind of a combination of the two, prior things. So artist and technical. It's kind of, I think at the moment, my favorite kind of avenue, because like I said, it combines all the things that I've learned and all the things that I know. It lets me be creative, mixing music together and kind of curating different songs and moods and energies and all that stuff. But there's also like a technical aspect, especially like we talked about last time, with how everything's moving to like a virtual space of live streaming and kind of putting all of your content online, making sure things are up to like a certain standard as far as production and how things sound. And that's like where my technical background kind of comes in. So like I said, 3 different facets, artist, DJ, audio engineer. And yeah, that's that's kind of me.
Well, no, you hit it. You hit it all. You definitely hit it all. Let me ask, so current projects that you've been working on with the pandemic going on and things of that nature. What have been like the things that you've been working on, keeping you busy?
Yeah, so I was able kind of right before things kind of started to shut down and the COVID really hit hard. I was able to kind of up my website and my brand. I was working with, or I'm still working, so shout out to her again, Deneen Canamar.
Oh yeah,
And
shout outs definitely.
yeah, she's an art director and a very, very talented graphic designer. So we kind of just like redid my logo, kind of created like a new brand of like the direction that I'm wanting to go in. So new logo, new content, new website, all that stuff kind of dropped the last few months. And then as far as like the DJ side of things, I was able to kind of just take a step back, had some free time since I wasn't really working outside of my home, but was able to put together a few mixes, and then was also able to do multiple live streams. So the cool thing about it too is I consider myself kind of like an open format DJ. So each live stream I've tried to make it a little different as far as genres and like energy and all that stuff. So there's also kind of like this idea, or I guess this branding that I came up with the art director. It's called HYU, so hype you up. Yeah, because I like to bring high energy music, stuff people like to dance to, like to party to, like to listen to, and kind of bring that to all of the mixes and all of the live streams. So if you see any of that, that's what it means, like Helios hype you up live stream, or Helios hype you up mix.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
because I just want to kind of bring that energy, bring that that fun party kind of vibe to everything that I do.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think that I'll ever, and probably just not me either, because I think in the future. So I'm a visionary. So I'm always thinking way past, and sometimes I have a hard time talking to some people that don't get that. So I'm already thinking about next month. I'm already thinking about next year. I'm thinking about, I already see it. Do you think we will see from you where you're actually doing some DJing, where you're using those vocals? I think that, because I'm looking at you and I know people, been around for a while. You have that look, plus you just have that, I can tell that you have some vocals in there. And I think it would be great if you threw some vocals in there. And as you were mixing a little bit, because I seen you on the mic, you were very comfortable with the mic. So it's like, okay, it wasn't her first time, like grabbing the mic and talking, I could tell.
Yeah. So it's funny because you kind of planted that seed last time we talked, but really in the back of my mind, that was like something that was always kind of there. Like one of the projects, or a future project would be that, like, to combine, like I said, all of the things that I love to do. But yeah, definitely it's going to be something that I'm going to start to work on, putting together, because I have, even songs and material written that I never put out, never recorded.
I know this already without you telling me. I know you. I know who you are already. I'm telling you.
The Gemini in you. So yeah, that's definitely something. Like I said, now I have time, kind of looking on the positive aspect of everything that's happened. I've been able to kind of take a step back and reassess and kind of figure out what I really want to do in the next few months, at least, if not the next year, like you said, trying to visualize what what I want to do. But yeah, that's definitely something that I'll be working on, and I will keep you posted.
Guaranteed. The only thing only advice I'll tell you, and because I'm pretty much connected to your family right now. I got a place to stay whenever I go to Chihuahua or any of those locations out there. Plus, I spend a lot of time in the Caribbean and Mexico because I lived out there for 10 years. But the other part of Mexico, I've lived also in Mazatlan too. So I do know different areas. Send a little love. I got to give them a little bit out there too. Mexico's always been a great place, and the people are great. But just kind of going back to what you're doing, my advice to you, definitely, girl, go for it. Don't even think about it. Just like when we started this show, it was an ideal I had on 4/7 4/8, my nephew and I were collaborating on it. On 4/7, we talked about it. He's like, we came back. He's like, we should do something. I was like, yeah, let's do something. And he's a go-getter, like me. I think of something and do it. You can't wait on it. And we were like, let's do a podcast. He's like, all right, let's do it. So he's an IT background, owns his own company. We own this together. On 4/9, because I'm all about numerology and numbers.
Yeah.
I decided it has to be open by the 9th, on the 9th. We're celebrating our 3rd month anniversary in July. We broke out all the kind of records with over 50,000 viewers, actually over 20,000 viewers in the first 2 months. Then we went to 50,000 viewers. Then we're over 100,000 viewers. We're only in our 3rd month.
I know. You guys have been doing so much.
YouTube just sent us something stating that, you know what, oh my God, your numbers are crazy. We love you. So, I mean, what more do you want? And all because I believe like this, good things happen to good people. If you're doing things to help others, it's very important. So this is dedicated to you guys that are artists and all that. I just want to see you guys grow. So don't waste any time on your ideal or your dream. Go for it, Definitely go for it.
Yeah.
Going back to you, I had to get that in there because that was important for you. Because I know we're going to see a lot of you out there. It's just that sometimes pandemic and things like this that happen, you just have to be very creative at this time and not let the negativity bring you down. Use the negativity to bring you up. It'll support the new idea every time. Okay?
Yeah.
So, talking more about you instead of us, let's ask this question. In the coming up, say in the next 2-3 months, because things are changing, things are going back, things are, they're opening things, they're closing things. That's not going to actually do anything for you. But let's talk about what you're going to do. What exactly do you plan on doing in the next 2-3 months, 4 months, 5 months?
So like I was mentioning earlier, like we're transitioning to this whole, virtual space and kind of implementing a lot more use of technology than we have in the past. And obviously that's due to the fact that, we're in a pandemic and a lot of people are working from home or have to stay, at home. But, instead of kind of running away from that, I definitely kind of want to lean in and see there's so many opportunities that are kind of, lending themselves out there. So I've been sleeping a little bit on Twitch, but Twitch has become like a crazy platform for DJs. Yeah. So I want to kind of explore that because the cool thing about it too, not only on the DJ side, like I mentioned, production and kind of like implementing my audio engineering background and just like being super into that. There's so many opportunities, or just kind of sky is the limit as far as like production and what people are doing, DJs are doing on their live streams on Twitch, and then the cool thing about it too is that there's like a collaborative space where people, are in the chats and talking to the DJs. So I think that it's like as close as we can get to being, physically in person. But it's even cooler because people who might, not usually see me DJ, who are maybe in other countries, or at least in other states, that's going to lend itself a lot. So, putting out definitely some really cool production stuff on Twitch. The other thing I had mentioned, in our previous talk is doing some collaborative stuff with local bands or local artists. So definitely, working on like my solo project, like we had mentioned before, but doing some collaborative live streaming stuff or just collaborative, projects in general with local artists and local bands, I think is going to be kind of what you'll see in the next few months, from me. So that's kind of some of the stuff.
Got another question for you. So
yeah.
Talking about your vocals, because I'm heavy on vocals. I was just hanging out with a buddy yesterday that was also in the Caribbean of Mexico, and then he came back to the States also. We were hanging out shooting some pool at his house, and it was kind of interesting. We were talking about, because what we were doing is actually he's into music and all that too, like I am, and we were just playing pool, and at the same time we're going through just playing selections of beats, okay, of all kinds, vocals, garage, house. Both of him and I are house heads, so we're definitely into beats, and that
nice.
was Playa Carmen, Mexico, Tulum, and those kind of areas. But who would your vocals be like if I was to say, who do you kind of like favor after or sound like who would you mention? Like two or
Yeah,
three others?
yeah. So definitely kind of idols or, people that I would like to sound like, or I think, I have a similar sound. Like I mentioned, Amy Winehouse,
Okay.
Adele, Etta
Wow.
James, sort of a
Wow.
more kind of like soulful,
Okay.
definitely pop elements, but where the soul is,
Yeah.
that's stuff that I like to sing.
Where where does that like when you first start singing, what songs did you start? I mean, what songs caught you?
Ooh, um, it's tough because there was like a combination of stuff where I was, singing in a choir, so a church choir.
Okay.
Um,
Uh-oh.
so
Girls that sing in the church. You know the best singers come out of the choirs, you know. You
yeah,
know that, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Um, so stuff like that. But it was kind of like I mentioned, those soulful singers that I just got drawn to, the emotion behind their voice. Lauryn Hill. So just like
Oh, don't say
yeah,
that. Yeah, yeah. Don't, Lauren. You know, I'm telling you, if I can feel you, music wise. I was just listening to Lauren Hill earlier as I was waking up, and a few other ones because I was getting in the mood, you know, for just talking to you, and I was thinking to myself because I know that you got vocals and all that,
yeah,
and it's just things I do before I, you know, how I get prepared for to interview and stuff like that. Just something different every day. But yeah, Lauren Hill, that'd be cool. You know, I can't wait to hear your vocals. I'm not going to do that to you or anything of the sort. But when you're ready, you're going to send me something,
yeah.
okay? And then I'm going to send it to someone else, and I'm going to mix some stuff up together for you. Where I want you, I'll connect you with some people, okay?
Okay,
Because
yeah.
the minute that we hear
Maybe
your vocal,
maybe I'll surprise you and sing a little something before we end the interview. We'll see.
oh, good
We'll
lord.
see.
Oh. You know, I'm going to tell you right now. No, I'll let you sing it first, and then I'll tell you later because you're gonna love it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, other than that, you know, one of the things I always ask my guests when we first started opening the show, I talk about the co-host and my business partner also, �y'Almcb. He's owner of Smart Computer Concepts, LA, New York, and also Las Vegas. Just celebrated the 1 year anniversary up there. He'll be we're actually based LA, Las Vegas, and then I'm going to be stretching this to the Caribbean of Mexico. So we're doing a lot of different things. We've
Yeah.
upgraded and all that kind of fun stuff. But let me ask you, where could you see yourself if you did vocals and mixing? Where would be the ideal place for you? Not just doing locally. Would you want to do something international? Are you interested in doing things like that?
Yeah, definitely. There's always been a couple of places. One being Vancouver, another place probably being somewhere in Mexico, maybe Playa. Like there's a lot of opportunities there, especially as a DJ.
So you understand, all my friends down there, you know, I lived there 10 years. I'm about to hit back down, off and on between Vegas and the Caribbean and Mexico. All my friends own clubs, and they're all DJs. so, so I don't know what that means. And most of their clubs have either a hotel attached to it, okay, or a hostel attached to it. But these are really cool places. So,
Yeah.
and then in Tulum, it's a whole different world. You've never been there yet. It's magical. That's somewhere that you and your husband need to go to. You walk on the white sand beaches and chill. And
Yeah, when we went, we actually because we've gone only one time,
okay.
and it wasn't enough. We went like 4 or 5 days, not
Oh
enough
no.
time. I know there was so much to do that we didn't get done. But the thing was, it was like during hurricane season, so we went to Tulum, but we weren't able to like walk down. So that's something, yeah, that I definitely want to go back and do,
Right.
experience. But there's so much to do there. It's just not enough time. You have to go for like a month or something.
There's some places down there. Next time that you go, you let me know. And
Yeah.
for the first 3, you want to stay there for about 6 days minimum.
Okay.
The first 3 days, you don't leave your place. It's on the ocean. They're almost like up in the high treehouse type setup, and you just chill. You chill between you and your guy. It's like, I'm not talking about going out dancing and all that kind of. You can do that stuff too because it's there. But
Yeah.
this one, it overlooks all the ocean. It's set up where it's very airy, but you got enough privacy and things of that nature. and it's perfect to rise into love with your mate. Okay, I don't believe in fall in love. I believe you rise into love.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, you gotta let me know about that. So
Okay.
getting back your entertainment side. So you're a sound engineer.
Hmm.
Um, what made you go into sound engineering? I mean, other than being a DJ, I mean that goes hand in hand. It's great because we have
Yeah.
a lot of DJs that we know that are sound engineers, and they have a
Yeah.
different brain.
Yeah. Left
That's a,
and right. Uh,
yeah.
but yeah, like I mentioned earlier, when I was in high school, I was kind of trying to figure out like exactly what I wanted to do because I just knew it had to be something related to music.
Okay.
And like originally it was I wanted to like produce music and write, scores to film was kind of like the original thing that I was thinking I was going to get into.
Okay.
I actually, when I was applying for colleges, applied and auditioned to Berkeley in Boston, as well as, like I said, the sound recording program at Texas State.
Oh, okay.
So it kind of all just came from there. That was, like I said, the thing that I thought I was going to do before is like write music and produce music for film. But when I went to the SRT program at Texas State, a lot of the classes or a lot of the things that we were taught was about being in the studio with musicians and with artists. And that too kind of just like sparked a passion and an interest that I didn't know I had, which was, I love the music, I love performing it, but I also like being behind a sound desk and
Wow.
producing it or recording it. You're kind of more behind the scenes of the magic.
Yeah.
but but yeah, that's kind of where all of that came from. It was just like my whole history of music and DJing and audio engineering is like things have just happened like at the right time. So I've just kind of been along for the ride.
Okay.
But yeah.
For our viewers that don't know, because we have a few your viewers and then our viewers, and then people will be watching this because we're going to upload this. Or actually, I shouldn't say we. My IT business partner, my nephew. I bow down to you. I gotta give him props all the time. Otherwise, he thinks I'm so tough on him. But right now, I know he's got something he's poking my picture right now with no. Let me ask this question. Now, usually the sound engineers and people like that. I don't know if you got a chance to listen to Peter Glenn, aka DJ ER. That was a live stream that I did from a gentleman from New Zealand.
I think you sent me some of it, but I haven't had a chance to check it out.
Okay, he's on a whole nother level. I mean, whole nother level. It's storytelling. I mean, just magical of what he does. And every DJ I love for a different reason. Just like when I listened to your music, I was like, "Ooh, let's do this." I was like, oh, I was ready to go, and I was like, Is it Thursday? Is it Friday?" I was like, I thought I was going somewhere. I was like, pandemic. So I just jumped in the car. No. So let me ask, because sound engineers are different. Just like any types of engineers, IT people, they're different. You either sound engineers, IT engineers, they're usually behind the scenes and don't really want to come out to the forefront. Unlike my nephew and you, what I'm noticing, my nephew is so talented. I think he should be a rapper. I've even given him a rap name, and I'm gonna get it for this one. But but all the record label people that watch us, thank you, Legacy Pushers, which is a record label owner, our guy that hooks us up is really good. Now we're part of the family. They're out there in Texas too, because he'll be watching this. You know that.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
he'll be calling you. Also, I want to give it up to all those guys because you're just the way their brain works. What made you? What's the difference in you versus the normal sound engineer? Because sound engineers normally don't want to be brought to the up front. They don't want to be in front of the camera. They usually want to be behind the scenes doing the music. Leave me alone. I'll do my thing. What makes you different there?
Well, I'm a Leo, So
Okay.
I think that's part of it.
Okay.
I like to, you know, be the star of the show. Not all the shows, but
Okay.
my own show, I guess. Um, and so but I also think that it's been helpful to know both sides of things. Like I had mentioned, you know, before, the technical side as well as the creative side. It's
Okay.
also been helpful, like when I've been in the studio working with musicians in the past as an engineer, because
Okay.
you also kind of play like psychologist, because you want to be able to give sort of artists that safe space where they can, you know, create their best work without, you know, their nerves or stress or any of that stuff getting in the way.
Okay.
So I think it's helpful to be able to kind of put yourself in their shoes, because, you know, I've been there before where I've recorded material and I'm nervous or stressed out. So I think that that has been, you know, a pretty cool role, or it's been, you know, the role that I've been able to play, is to be on both sides. And like I said, you know, I've always loved music and I've always been a musician, so that was always going to be there. Um, but I think being able to study, you know, audio engineering, knowing all of the stuff that kind of goes behind producing music, recording music, all of that stuff, it just makes.
I'm sorry. My
Did you
say
see his comment?
say big ups to Trail. He's like, yeah, making jokes, are we?
Yeah, I was waiting for you to see that comment from him. Thank you for tuning in and for all that you do on the technical side. So shout out to him.
Yeah. We don't have to kiss up to him yet. Okay. No, hey, I made him breakfast, okay? He did this to me, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Here, I got another question for you. Vocal wise, so we're gonna get back to the vocal side of it, okay?
Okay.
All right. So, vocal wise, you sung in the choir.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now you got me very, very interested in this vocal side. Not because you can sing that part, but it's just a matter of, because that's a whole. I love vocals. I've always been huge on vocals. When I was little, my parents lined us up to try and sing, my sisters and I, because they thought maybe that one of us would be famous in singing, and they could actually, you know, not have to worry about doing anything other than managing us. And they put us,
Yeah.
they lined us up one by one, and then they were like, they looked at each other afterwards, and they're like, okay, I guess we got to go to work. so well, let me ask this question. Vocal wise, what do you like to sing? What's your favorite 3 genres to sing?
I really liked before. I don't know if that is accurate now, but jazz music. So I was in a jazz quartet when I was in college. So jazz, like I said, some like a mix of like R&B, soul kind of material, probably some pop stuff. But like I said, just really anything that's like emotive, that has a soul behind it, that can go, you know, across a bunch of different genres. But
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you another question.
yeah.
If I, you know, all of a sudden I said to you, okay, Laura, you know what? It's like give me like 3 or 4 bars of whatever you want to give me. What would you give me? I mean, like. Who?
All right, I'm ready to sing if you want me to.
Oh, let's do this. Let's do this. Wait a minute.
I'll sing a verse. I'll sing a verse in the chorus.
Wait. Exclusive. Premiere. Laura is going to give us some vocals.
You heard it here first. Let me see. Okay. Turn down the lights. Turn down the bed. Turn down these voices inside my head. Lay down with me. Tell me no lies. Just hold me closely. Don't patronize. Don't patronize me. 'Cause I can't make you love me if you don't. And you can't make your heart feel something that it won't. But here in the dark, in these lonely hours, I will lay down my heart, and I will feel the power, but you won't. No, you won't. 'Cause I can't make you love me when you don't. When you don't, yeah.
Woo!
Ta-da!
Oh my God. I was not
You weren't
expecting.
expecting that.
I thought maybe like you were going to give me like a minute and that was going to be it. I already knew you could sing. You know that I can spot that right away. I can spot talent. Okay. Wow, girl. So not just a pretty face, not just a big brain, not just a DJ. Also got vocals in there.
Yeah.
�y'Trail. I seen him like go woo, because he's in the studio in his back area where I can't touch. I can't even walk in that room. It's like everything's IT.
It's off limits.
He's got laptops over there. He's fixing. He works meanwhile 24/7, where he's running his company on his phone. Doing, fixing IT stuff as we were doing this. Plus, he's uploading this after the show. And he's actually doing his own interviews with rappers and artists out of New York and doing his own thing. So, God, he actually stopped for a minute. He's like, oh, let me put this screwdriver down. Okay. So, awesome, girl. I really, really admire that. Didn't know you had that soul. I knew it was there, but I didn't know if it was going to take you a few times to get it, and you're ready. I love that. I love when people are ready right on the spot.
That was like always the response when people saw me sing live, because I'm 5'2", so I'm small, and they're like, "Is that voice coming out of that small person, that little girl?"
Wow,
so,
that's why your parents are so proud. I love it. I love it. I give it up to the Villalobos family. A lot of talented people in that family. You got models, you got real estate people, you've got DJs. I can't wait to get you and your cousin. And I found out by accident that you were cousins. She just told me, hey, you don't know this female DJ, and she didn't brag or anything. I know this female DJ, JR, that you probably should have on the show. And I was like, oh, really? And I trust her. I trust her with my kids. I trust her with my heart. She's my pal. Definitely, I give her a lot of props because she's brought a lot of people to us, and she's always working 24/7. Putting
she's a hustler for sure.
Oh man, I tell you, that's the kind of people you want on your team. And I'm glad that she's part of our family. She's family with us too. So if she ever comes out to Cali or Las Vegas, or if she's in the Caribbean, she knows she can chill. Definitely. She told me the same thing. If we're out that way, I talked to her dad. He's really cool. I'll get to know your parents pretty soon. My favorite thing is white roses and white M&Ms. So when I come in town, that's what I like.
That's what I expect.
That's that star quality. You got to have that thing that you send
on your rider. Yeah, the artist.
Yeah, you got to have that thing where you send also they got you coming into town, and you send like that person, like your runaround person, to go get it, and they're like, where in the heck do you find white M&Ms? And you're like, get the M&Ms or you're fired.
On a wild goose chase looking for white M&Ms.
Definitely. So let me God, I don't know what to say after that. It's like, wow, you got me. I like that. I love vocals. This is what I told you. You remember last time we talked, I said, girl, without even knowing, I know that you should be doing some vocals.
Yeah.
Over your mixing, and you're going to take them by storm. You're going to take them they're not going to know how. And what's going to happen is they're going to be like, you know what? You might not. I don't know if we can have you DJ anymore because now we want to sign you to a contract and get those vocals going. And you're like, okay, honey, you can quit your job. You can quit your job, big guy. We're going. We're going to Hollywood. Yeah, it's always a pleasure to talk to you because you're very easy to talk to, very relaxing. And one of the things I've always tried to do with the guests that I've invited on the show, not that I know that much about, your background and things of that, no, whatever. I just feel your personality within about 2 to 3 minutes. That's just who I am. My background, sales, marketing, sales, closing, and stuff like that, and meeting people where I had to figure them out in like 3 minutes. It helps when I'm talking to people.
Yeah.
So, in figuring you out, you're God gift angel who sings and DJs. Let me ask this question: young girl comes up to you. She's about 8, 9 years age. She's got a voice like an angel. She says to you, "Oh, I can also DJ." And she says, what would you suggest? What would be the things that I should practice on the most? And she tells you all her strengths, because kids nowadays are a lot more awake than the kids that I was and you were.
Yeah.
She says, my strengths my vocals are deep. I'm a great DJ. I can mix it like magic. What would I need to work on to get to where you are right now? What advice would you give her?
I think figuring out specifically what you're more passionate about, whether it's singing or DJing, to kind of know what to maybe focus on more. If someone's, passionate about singing and they also want to DJ in complement to that, like figuring out where you want to go, like the like you said earlier, being a visionary and kind of figuring that out. I would say, brainstorm and experiment as much as you can with kind of the sound that you want, because something that we touched on last time was Amy Winehouse and like her unique sound. So I think for, someone who is a singer and a DJ, finding that sound that is completely yours, no one can kind of replicate that. So that's what I would suggest. And then just putting in the time. They always say, what is it? The 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
Putting in the time to study your craft, whether it's DJing and singing or both, to be the best that you can be,
I'll tell you one thing. Everything has changed a lot, and because when you look at what's happening right now, I mean, study your craft and all that. I believe you need the hours, but don't let them put their parameters on you. I don't think you really need 10,000 hours. I think you just need to be you.
Yeah.
Because some people, again, we're not all the same. And some people are more gifted than others because they're not afraid. They're enlightened, and they know they already know they're born for it. So whatever you feel, just do it. Just definitely do it. Again, put in the 10,000 hours. It's very important to continue to work on your craft. Sometimes some people, without knowing, have been working on that craft since they were young, just like yourself. You've already put in the hours. Yeah. They don't realize that you've already put in the hours, so you're already ready. So definitely. Always a pleasure talking to you. We're probably winding down. It's because the clock's gonna come on and start ticking in just a little bit, I'm sure. But I'm just giving you a heads up on that. Tell me something about yourself that if I didn't know you, and that's a very, very important question. And I like this question because I actually got this question from my nephew. And it's interesting, but tell me something about yourself that we don't know.
I mentioned earlier I was a Leo. That's something that you didn't know. You might have guessed that since you are good at reading.
What day? What day? When were
August
born?
3rd.
The 3rd,
So
okay.
Coming up.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something else that you don't. I feel like I've told you everything about me.
All right, let me reword that. Your cousin just joined. Cool. Yeah. Let me ask this question for you. Let's see. Tell me something crazy about you that we would not even guess of that you would do that you've done. I seen this on the show. It was kind of funny. Where, tell me something crazy, nerdy that you've done that you laughed at yourself that we wouldn't think of, but you've done it. Okay. And I'll give you one.
Okay.
I took a picture with Anita from the Pointer Sisters, and I'll send you that picture. I had these goofy glasses on. I was at the Emmys. I was doing a pre-Emmys gifting party and a pre-Oscars gifting party. And I was at Melrose, and we were doing it for the Oscars and Emmys, both. And I took a picture with all these stars, and and it was interesting when I met all these people. We took the picture, and the girl was singing. She's actually still singing, you know. But I looked kind of crazy. Tell me something that you've done, and you looked at it later, and you're like, "How goofy am I?"
I'm trying to think of something. I'm drawing a blank here. Goofy. I've done a lot of goofy things. I do a lot of goofy things all the time. I try
All
for
right,
people not to see them.
all right. Tell me one. Just tell me one.
Uh, Gosh, I'm drawing a blank here.
Okay,
I could tell you a bunch of things like you don't know about me, but I don't know if goofy things I can think about.
okay.
I haven't met as many celebrities.
Have you ever like walked into the glass wall?
Oh yeah, I've definitely. I think everyone's done that. I've done that. Oh, this isn't goofy, but it was definitely embarrassing.
Okay.
One time in Mexico, we were in Manzanillo, which is like close to
I know that.
a bunch of, you know, family members, my aunts, uncles, and some cousins. We rented a house,
Mhm.
and like all of my cousins, the guy cousins, were doing flips off the side of the, like off the edge of the pool into the pool, right? And I've always been one of those like girls that just hangs out with, wants to be one of the guys.
Right.
So I decided to take, you know, to do a flip off the edge of the pool.
Wow.
But the thing is, my gymnast background comes into this because I've learned that when you flip and you land in the same place.
Right.
So you can already see what happened here. I flipped off the edge of the pool and I like slammed into the edge and just like fell into the pool and like just totally busted up my nose.
No
So
way.
that was me for the rest of the trip, was like a huge black swollen nose. I've never flipped off of a pool anymore. Too scared to do that. Yeah.
Especially with a gymnast background. Yeah.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. I think this is the first time I've told people about that story.
Okay. Yeah. I thought they should know. A lot of us have some things that we do, and I always friends that I meet, and then people that are watching and things like that. I always will mention something stupid or crazy that I've done, because I there are no secrets, but I don't want anyone to ever think that they can come up to me and say, you know what, I heard this about you. You know what? It's out there already.
Yeah,
it's okay. You can't mess me up. No matter what. I already done it. Yeah, definitely. Laura, I want to thank you for coming in and hanging out with us today. It's been a pleasure. Learned a lot about you. I know we will have a part two. And the part two, because what was going to happen before, it was going to be like, you interviewed, and then you had the watch party and things like that. And I'm going to run that watch party in just a little bit too. I'll put that back on when you DJ'd for us last time. Did 30 minutes. But next time, in the part two that we do have, I'll find something interesting, or I'll let you do something interesting in that part too, and I'll find out what's going on with you and do like a catch up, because we usually have a catch up part two interview where we just want to, a few months down the line, want to catch up and find out what you're doing, and things are changing, so don't worry about the pandemic and all that. Just keep creating, keep going forward. Just make sure you're doing something positive, and it's what we get out of this pandemic right now. The time that we were given was, if you haven't worked on something or become that much better right now with the time that we've had, something's wrong. Okay, definitely.
Yeah. Time has not been the excuse. It's been something else,
Yeah, I put in good time with family. I think that's very important. I've been hanging out, spending time with moms, nephew. I've seen my sister. Usually, I'm usually going out in different parts of the country. I was in Jamaica just in January. I just took a career over there where I was doing some work over there for this resort, helping run a resort, and selling memberships and getting all that stuff set. And I was living on the beach, living it right in the grill, and I was like, all of a sudden, pandemic comes, and I'm like, oh no! And I was supposed to be April. I was supposed to be in the Caribbean of Mexico, spending time with my daughter for a month, because she's coming from Germany, so we're going to hang out in Mexico for a month and just chill where she was born at, in Cozumel, Mexico. And she was looking forward to it, and I was looking forward to it, and then all of a sudden, the pandemic happened. I'm like, so how that happens. So take advantage of the time. So guaranteed. Is there anybody that you want to give any shout outs to? Anybody that you want to say hello to? Go ahead. It's your time. We got about 2 minutes.
So my cousin, DJ Anaí Villalobos, she has logged on. I want to thank her for putting the two of us in touch.
Yeah.
Her and a couple of other DJs I know are going to do a set later.
Yeah,
6
from
to 9
6.
p.m. Yeah.
Yeah, 6 to 9.
Is
I
it
don't know if
6
you.
to 9? Whose time?
That's gonna be from let's
2
see.
hours?
Yeah, that's gonna be Chihuahua. So that's gonna be it'll be an hour difference for me. So
Yeah.
probably 2 hours difference for you.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Yeah.
so shout out to her. To my parents, they tuned in for both episodes. So thank you, Mom and Dad.
Hey, Mom and Dad.
Um,
I love Mexican food, so you know. Okay, my daughter was born in Mexico. We spent 10 years there. I'm going back. I have residency down there, so I can go anytime I want, which is really cool. But I love all my Spanish people.
yeah.
And I love to eat, so you know, got to cook me something up good. I think I'm not sure. Did your husband get a chance to join us today, or?
I don't think so. He's working. So, but I'll give him a shout out too. Shout out to the hubby, Emmanuel. Thank you for all of your support. So,
Yeah.
shout out to him. And then I also wanted to shout out, like I had mentioned earlier, my art director and graphic designer, Deneen.
Oh yes, please do.
So yeah, thank you. If you are watching or if you will watch this interview once it's posted, I appreciate all of your hard work. So thanks, girl.
One of the other things, remember when we upload this to YouTube, also Facebook. It's on Instagram, and you'll also have we have Apple Podcasts FM. We're on Anchor Podcast FM. Thanks to my nephew again. Big ups. We're also on 3 other platforms with our FM channels podcast. My nephew takes care of all that stuff. He is the marketing. Well, I'm sales and marketing, but he's sales also and marketing because of running his other companies. But he is the IT guy that makes everything happen. I mean, if it wasn't for him and tracking all the numbers and doing things just the way he does it, big ups to him. He's just actually been a big part of this and our success. My big mouth, where it comes in, I'm more of the showman guy. You know, I know a lot of people. I travel. I get out there. I rub shoulders. I throw out. When I had lots of money, I would throw a lot of it out there. That'll come back. It always comes back. You know, when you don't worry about the money, it definitely comes back. Want to thank you for all your hard work that you put into being ready for this show. Thank you for your craft. I'm going to run your watch party again. I'll run it back through so people can see that again. Until next time, Laura, I will see you. Enjoy your day.
Thank you.
It is a funky Friday, so have some fun.
Thank you so much.
All right. You have a good day, okay?
You too. Thanks.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.